surrender the Darksaber, and tell these people that this planet is mine.
This is the way.
We've seen the Darksaber pass through a few different people's hands. Do you think that Moff Gideon's ever going to get it back? And if he did, what do you think the first thing he would do with it is?
He's going after Bo-Katan. Yeah, I'm hoping he will get it back. I can't say definitively, but he certainly knows how to use it. We don't know why. That's an answer that maybe we're seeking still. But, you know, look, Bo-Katan just pisses him off. And the Mandalorians are just, you know, they're against what the Imperials stand for. And I understand their commitment, but I also see their weakness, and I'm going to take advantage of it.
So Bo-Katan has reclaimed the Darksaber. What was the first thing that you think she did with it, and what was the first thing that you did with it?
She's probably sleeping with it at this point. She's like, I'm not losing this again. And, you know, I just held it and tried to figure out how I was going to figure out that fight choreography with it, you know.
I return this blade to its rightful owner.
How much do you think the idea of the helmet always being on was inspired by Dave Filoni always wearing a cowboy hat?
It's a good observation, yeah. He used to be able to get away with taking off the cowboy hat and then being anonymous. That doesn't happen anymore. He gets stopped now even without the cowboy hat. So I think those days are done. There's a lot of Dave Filoni works his way into his love of wolves and dogs and his wife's love of owls. There you go with the night owls, and Bo-Katan, I think, is named after. So it's a lot of his personal life, named after, I think, his wife's pet. So there's a lot of Dave's personal life that has woven its way through all of Star Wars lore.
He thinks that maybe your penchant for the cowboy hat may have some inspiration for never ever taking off their helmet. Do you see any sort of line between those two things?
He would know. That would be him, because he's the one that, you know, originated that idea. I think what was most interesting to me about that whole development was, you know, the not taking off the helmet wasn't something that I was certainly familiar with, and I'd done quite a bit of Mandalorian history and culture with George on the Clone Wars and later on Rebels, but John's a fan and he must have a reason for wanting to do that. So we talked about it, and I think it became a really interesting point for the story to say that even within this group, the Mandalorians, there are different people that believe different things, and what does that mean for them? Does that create conflict? Does that create a sense of unity? Like, how does it divide them? We showed that really by bringing Bo-Katan into the story in season 2, and off pops her helmet. So, you know, the people that are familiar with those shows goes, yeah, I've been wondering about this. So I think we took something that creatively might have seemed very different, and we made it a strength of the story at the end of the day, which I think was had the best possible outcome.
Do you respect my station? I do. Remove your helmet.
And so much intimidation just with her voice. I mean, that scene where you tell Bo-Katan to take off her helmet, it seems like that ultimate test. What was your process to get into that, to intimidate just with your voice, to like really pull that out of her, to pull that look out of her?
I try not to overthink it because if I think about it too much, then I start feeling like this on the inside. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is it working? Is it working, guys? Is it working? But I have really found that the key with her is to kind of let go of so much and to just trust what she represents. She is so invested in her people. She is so invested in the Creed. She wants what is best for them. With what she is asking of Bo-Katan, it is ultimately for the good of her people, and I think for the good of Bo. I don't think that she ever asks anything of anyone without it being for their good. And so I try to trust that when I'm embodying her and think as little about myself as possible and about the effect it's having, and then I just go with it.
It will be a curse unto the nation.